Hey everyone, I figured I'd do one more video before I went to sleep. Um, I'm gonna be talking about a film that's a total acid trip. I don't do drugs or anything, but I bet if I was on drugs, I'd enjoy the movie even more. I do like the movie, even though it's stupid as hell, and it reminds me so much of Pee Wee Herman, and I cannot stand Pee Wee Herman. But it was tolerable, and the gore in it was excellent. I really enjoyed the gore. Um, and the movie I'm talking about is Terror Toons. I saw this movie, I think 2 years ago, and I remember it. Um, so I'm just gonna go through what I remember. Um, these two sisters, Candy and Cindy, uh, Candy is supposed to be a little sister, like a little girl, but yet she's a full grown adult, and you get to see her boobs. Yes, you do. Um, so if she's a little girl, why are they showing the tits? Anyways, that's not important. She gets a DVD in the mail sent by Satan. Yes, sent by the devil himself. Uh, called Terror Toons. So she puts it in the DVD player, and all of a sudden she's seeing all this crazy stuff happening. Uh, it doesn't seem all that violent at first, but then it grows really violent, and you get to see a bunch of gore in cartoon land. Like, if this was a real cartoon, it would get banned from TV. It would have to appear really late at night. But the cartoon isn't like normal cartoons. Like, it's not animated really. It's just people in costumes and like a backdrop world, like a green screen. Um, and I didn't really mind the art style too much, but uh, the house looked like a kiddie place. Uh, and the mother is played by a man. Um, and I don't remember too much about the parents. They're not really important because they're not in the movie that much. They're at the beginning and the end. Um, so Candy's sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden she gets turned into a puppet, like a ventriloquist dummy. And here's where the cool stuff starts to kick in. Um, Cindy invites all of her friends over because the horror movie cliche when the parents are out of town, a party goes on. So, anyways, Cindy ends up inviting all her friends, which I think are three, two guys and an Asian girl. Don't remember their names. Sorry. These actors, I talk about bad actors and good actors. Don't go in this for the acting, go in it for the gore. Trust me on that one. You'll be very disappointed if you go in it for the acting. And don't go in it for a plot because there really is no plot. Just a DVD sent by Satan, and it turns out the cartoons become real. Um, One thing I should point out, a guy at the beginning of the film gets surgery on his brain. They're tickling his brain, and he's laughing and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then his brain or intestines get ripped. Nah, I think it's his brain gets ripped out through his stomach, and his entire muscles get ripped out of his skin. So that's a pretty cool effect. Like, it's cheesy, but it's pretty cool. So the director, I think he must have been on crack when he made this film. Uh, It's made by Brain Damage Films. If anybody's ever heard of the movie Brain Damage, it's about like this parasite that attaches to your neck, but it asks before he does it, and pretty much it's like ecstasy. But anyways, the movie and the company have nothing to do in common. And Brain Damage is the name of the company that releases Traces of Death, and they released The Burning Moon back when they were called Dead Alive Studios. So there you go. You got a company that's well known in the gore genre. So anyways, the party starts happening, and it's not much of a party, really. It isn't. Just a couple of drinks and spin the bottle, and that's about it. And what happens is they order pizza. And what happens is, I should point out, the two cartoon characters that are killing people are named Dr. Carnage and Max something, I forget. But Dr. Carnage is, of course, a doctor, and he has a really big nose and teeth popping out of his mouth, and he's got really big eyes, so he looks wacky. And Max is a giant ape. And they go on a killing spree like nobody's business. Like, the body count in this is pretty good. And the people you don't expect to die do die. So anyways, they order pizza. The pizza guy comes. Max kills the pizza guy. I forget how, though. But here's my favorite death, because it's just so over the top I have to explain it. Well, not really explain it, but I gotta tell it to people. Dr. Carnage takes a giant pizza slicer, you know, the things that slice the pizza and everything. He slices a guy right in half. And I'm just like, yeah. These are the kind of cartoons I like. Happy Tree Friends, stuff like that. Although Happy Tree Friends is more brutal than this movie. Somebody actually gets tickled to death in this movie. And I'm just like, what? But it's cool because when he's being tickled to death, he gets his guts to come out of his mouth. So, it's a double whammy. He gets pretty much his guts puked out, and he gets tickled to death. Not a good way to go. So, anyways, no, he doesn't get tickled to death. He laughs himself to death. And while he's laughing, he ends up puking out all his guts. And you get to see great shots of the guts coming out. He's like, and he dies right there. So, I think that might be a nod to City of the Living Dead. So, I won't go through the rest of the deaths, but see the movie for yourself. It's pretty easy to find over the internet to watch for free. But it comes at a cost. Not like money or anything, but some links don't have that nearly as much gore in it. So the ones I'm going to tell you about, go for the Put Locker ones and the Gorilla Vid ones. They're the best two options because you get to see the whole movie uncut. And it's not really a long movie. I think it's like around 80 minutes. It might even be 70 minutes. So it's a pretty short movie. And what would be a perfect, well, not really perfect, what would be a great cartoon movie if it didn't have a second one? I'll review the second one at some point. But I'll probably review this one again. Because I plan on getting both DVDs because they're incredibly cheap on Amazon. Both new and used. New for $13 for the second one, and new for the first one about $4. So I think it's worth that much money. The second one's better when it comes to gore, and it's better with plotline, and it's just all around a better movie. The only difference is the acting is worse and the budget is even lower. But the camera, like, the first one felt like a shot on video camera style. The second one feels like an actual movie. Like a high budgeted movie camera. So, anyways, what do I give Terror Toons? This is going to be hard because I've never had to review a movie like this. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but apparently it does have a cult following, so there are some people who like it. So, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Not bad, but not great either. Definitely a good ride. Watch it with friends because it makes it that much more fun. And do not watch this with little kids around because, like I said, there's nudity and there's gore. And I don't... I think the appropriate age to see gore would have to be like 7 or 8, because I didn't start seeing my extreme gore films until I was around 6 or 7. So yeah, much props to my parents. They raised me right. They always stood by me, even in my time of need, like when I broke my leg and whatever. And things that always cheered me up were video games and horror movies. And I thank my mom for introducing me to some horror movies. But I want to thank my uncle for showing me that horror movies cannot just be a genre. It can be one of the best genres in the movies. So, it's my favorite movie genre, and Terror Toons I'd like to add to my collection. The movie feels like you're on crack, though. And the second one has Hansel and Gretel in it. Hansel is like a big demon, like his face is really big, and Gretel is on the case. She's got big teeth in her mouth, kind of like Dr. Carnage, and she carries around a giant lollipop. So definitely check these movies out if you're wanting something different in your horror movies. There is comedy, but it's really childish comedy. So don't expect to laugh out loud or anything. But you can laugh at the cartoons because the stuff they do, while the deaths are gory, they are completely over the top and funny. So, anyways, I'm out. Hopefully you all enjoyed my review of Terror Toons. Anyways, everybody, peace. I'm going to bed.